Okay, so what have we here? Let's open it up real quick and see. A key fob. And a key fob. So we've got key fobs here. And actually, it's kind of weird because one was advertised as just a case and the other was advertised as a full key. Uncut. That's, of course, uncut. And, oh, so there it is, just a case. Okay. But it's got an uncut key in it, which is cool. I mean, honestly, that's cool. So now it makes a little more sense. So what we're going to do is the truck I recently got, it only came with one key. And you have to have two to do several different things with it. And so I want to take and rebuild the old key, which let me get it off my key ring if I can. There we go. So this is the old key. I mean, it's a actual factory. That doesn't say Ford, so these are aftermarkets, but I did research the frequencies, which the 315 frequency works with this particular one right here because the frequency is marked on here, or the model is marked on here, which will give you the frequency that this, or frequencies that this will use, which is 315. The 900 and something are the fobs that actually have the remote start. So what we're going to be doing is putting the guts of this key fob into this case because it's better. Just, you know, it's just better. And again, it's nice to have an extra key. But anyway, and then this one, we're going to go through the process of using FORScan with the key that we have to program it. And there's a specific way that you can do that. And so the guts and everything should be in this one. Let me just pop the back off and confirm that. Oh, key, I mean, it's battery and everything. That is kind of wild. Unexpected, to say the least. But on this particular key, usually it's either printed on the back or you open the battery compartment up and it's printed either on the battery compartment or inside the case here, the number, which is just a certain kind of number. On this one, it's actually printed on the side of the case underneath the key, which is nice, so you don't have to worry about it getting rubbed off or anything like that. So let me break away, make sure I got what I need, and we are going to put the guts of this one in here, and we'll just keep this case just stored to the side. I'll put this key in here, and then what I may do is just get... and I don't know, locksmiths may want to be kinky and or hinky or whatever and not want to cut them, but I just want this cut onto these two right here, these blanks, and then I'll have backups. And so anyway, that's the plan. So let me break away, make sure I got what I need, and we'll be right back. Okay, so if you have a remote that looks like this and you want it to look like this and work like a new one, then this is the video for you. We're not going to program this one in this video. That will be later on, but we are going to see about doing that. This is the, you can zoom in there and look at that number. That was the part number for the key fob. Now on my original remote, it's not going to be visible, but up inside here, it's actually printed on this remote the number. And so there's a certain number on each one of the remotes that will correspond to a frequency. And so the 315 frequency works with these remotes right here. So let's start by popping this back off. So what you have is a little recess here that you can stick something up in like this, and you'll lift this back off of it. Let me see these parts here. We'll go ahead and pop the back off of this, which doesn't take a whole lot. And so here's the battery compartments, which are almost identical, except there's no Ford emblem on that one. And so I'm kind of hoping this will be straightforward. So let's see, we're going to need a Torx on that. Let's see which Torx. Nope, not that one. That one works, but it's kind of loose. That one's too big. I don't guess it really matters as long as it works, because it's not going to be like it's going to be enough torque put on it that it's going to strip it out. So, and I've asked people, and they talk about, nah, we don't want to rebuild those remotes because it's just too involved, too many parts, and this and that and the other. So this thing might come flying apart, and this is a busted video. Let's see. So there's the original screw. And so, like I said, the front side, I guess, just snaps into place over everything. It doesn't look like there's anything special to it. So let's see what I'm going to do. I'm leaving the battery in here because the battery is just held in place in this. And I'm just going to transfer it all over. The original, this case doesn't have one. See, it looks like that's going to fit in there like that. And this is keyed on one side, it looks like. Yeah, see, so that's a little recess at the bottom that fits down in. So this will only go in one way at the bottom. So let me just set that off to the side, because this is a part that I don't know that I'm going to need. But I am kind of wondering. Yeah, it does come out. So this button rotates to come out. And one of the problems with this key fob right here, let me just show you, is push the button so it'll go in. See, it's just loose. That sticks out, and that annoys me. And when you got it out here, it's just sitting here and it's weeble wobble, really loose. So I'm not real confident in all that. So we'll see about popping this loose. We'll look at this top one. Looks like it's got just little catches on the side and in the front right here. So potentially trying to pop it loose right here may be the ticket. Yeah. Okay, so on the key side where the key fits up in there, So right in here where the key fits up in this slot, I got up in there, kind of tweaked it, it lifted it, and then I held it with my thumb and then got down here on the bottom and tweaked it again, and it popped on loose. And so, I mean, as you can see, this is a little worse for wear. It's got some age in it. And it's got pieces falling out. Plastic pieces. So this is part of the reason. If you can look at this case right here, you will see that there's plastic ears broken loose in this, and that's going to be the reason why that key was slightly moving out. And you've got all of this, which is the cam mechanism for holding the key in place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave all this together, because what I may do is I may just have this key cut to match this one and just keep the old one as a backup and install this one in there. So I'm going to keep that whole assembly as is. And you can see the differences. Where's it at? Here we go. You can see the differences here, which hopefully you can. You can see where you got these two ears, just like that. Then these two ears right here are damaged and cracked. And that would be these two right here. And that would be what would be holding that key in. And being as they're cracked, it's allowing it to move just a little bit and stick out a little proud of the case. So for right now, I'm going to take the original key and just keep it, transfer it over to the new case along with the guts. Okay. So that's in the open position. And that's going to be the new closed position. See, it's closed all the way. So let's get that there. Now let's see about lifting this circuit board. So this circuit board, you can see there's a couple of little compression clips right here. I guess the equivalent of here and here. So I'm going to see about delicately lifting this circuit board. So there we go. Okay, so I got it coming up. Go ahead and pop it loose. You got contacts here for the battery. Let's get this all set into place. Then I'm going to gently snap it down into place. Okay, so now it is in place of the original. So now I can go ahead and pop this battery out. But I'm going to install this battery because that's a brand new battery. I just put it in. So let me get this piece, which is going to install which way, like that. Or actually, let me put it in here, because this has got a recess to it, and that's going to hold it better. So now let's pop all this stuff together. Oops. Well, okay. I'm not lining it up good. Let me open that key up. Okay. Okay, now it's snapped back together. Well, maybe I didn't spring load something or something right. It's not springing back out. Okay, so I didn't load something. Let me see something. Well, where'd the dime? Here the dime. Okay, so this is the problem. If you look closely, you'll see, and that's what I thought it was going to be when I got to thinking about it. If you look at that, you'll see there's a little deal on that spring that comes in the center of it. It's on both ends of the spring. And in the bottom of this key, you'll see a cut right across there. So you got to make sure that that is lined up and in that recess, or it is not going to open by spring. And I'm not sure if that's going to need like to be wound a certain amount, which I would be willing to bet it probably does. Let's see. Just like impossible to do and show you at the same time. Okay, I might start all over. I think I turned it too much. Well, we'll do that one later. This is the one I need to get done. So let's pop this back loose. Okay. So that's all good. I've just got to get this right. Okay, so let me explain this. When you take it out, this is all captured. So you need to push it in and rotate it a certain amount. Just let it come back up after you push it down enough to start it rotating, and it pops into a spot and stops. Well, push it down again and continue to rotate it, and it pops out. And you see this spun around a couple of times. So yeah, that piece is in there and that piece is in there. So this has seen some better days, sure enough. So you'll see these two keyed parts. They are keyed to where you have a small side and a narrow side. So what I'm going to do is turn the large towards the narrow, because I'm going to spin it around. Or actually, yeah. And now I'm going to spin this and put it into place. And now it is back captured. Okay. So on this piece, don't worry about these slots, these little spurs on this side. Not yet. On this side, you got this narrow side and this fat side. And on the key, on the top side, you've got the same thing. And so what I did was I turned the narrow side towards this, lined up those catches, which there's one in the top of the cap here too, with the little slot in the key, and I put it down into place. When it made it up, I spun it until the narrow was on this side, which is like 1/2 turn, pushed it down through, and then continued to turn until it popped back up into that slot it'll set in. Then I pushed it down and made another, finished the rotation. So it ended up making a full rotation. Then it locked into place and held where it was at. And so that's where I've got it set right now. And so you end up with, how does this look? You've got a long slot right here pointing down, a narrow pointing outwards, so that each one of these will fit in that key slot and should fit all the way down. So when I push the button, it rotates out. So that's exactly what I need. So we should be good now. And that does still kind of hold out there a little bit. I may not be able to get away from that because apparently this key's got some wear on it. So, but that's okay. It'll be a good hull, a good shell in here to be in place. So let's get this in here. Get this, well, hold on. We're being a goober. We're being a goober. A big old goober. Now, we'll get this side snapped in. I don't know why I keep doing that. Now I understand. I understand why they don't want to program these or rebuild these, because they're a pain in the butt. They really are. And this little piece, you might want to glue it in there before you start putting it all back together, because it just wants to pop right back out every time you turn around. But I do know it will go back together. Okay, so I'll have to kind of break it in a little bit. Okay. So again, it is sticking out a little bit, but that's just the wear on the piece. I could replace this button in here, and it may be just fine. I don't want to right now, because I want to see about getting that key recut here, and I'm going to replace the entire key with this piece right here. So let me show you one more time, and hopefully, and I apologize, I don't mean to be just doing this over and over and over again, but I just want to try to make it as straightforward as possible. Let me get that screwed in. That's not the correct match. Let's try this one. There we go. Okay, so I just threaded it as I was putting that in there. So now it's pretty tight. It doesn't want to open all the way, so let me back off on this a little bit. Back off a little more. There we go. So I'm going to leave it there. So let me put the back on here, and then you'll see me come back on this video and tag to it if this doesn't work. If the remote doesn't work with the truck. I'll go out there and test it here in just a little bit and make sure that everything works. It should. There's not really any reason for it not to. This is the old setup, but before I put that back together, because I don't think I'm going to put this key in there. I'm just going to pop this stuff together, because this is just my backup in case everything goes south, which hopefully it don't. And this I'll put back in this bag here. And I'll put the blank key, I don't know. But, so again, you've got a slot in the bottom of this piece. So if you look at the side profile, you'll see you've got 1, 2 large wide teeth on the top of the button. And then you've got 1, 2 short teeth. Now they're the same width this way, but they're different widths this way. Then over here, you've got 2 keys, teeth, whatever, on each side, on the end, flush. And if you look at the top side, then you can see that one side is wider, this side over here, versus this side right here, which is narrower. If you look down in this, and I'll try to zoom in on it, you'll see that on the key side, you have the narrow slot, and over here on the back side of the key, over here, the back side of the key, you have a wide slot on this side, narrow slot on this side. And then on the, and let me turn the button in the same orientation. And so just like you've got the narrow slot here and the wide slot here, you've got a narrow slot here and a wide slot here. And then on this, you've got 2 large pieces, tits, keys, whatever you want to call it, and 2 small. And so what these these down here engage, locking it into the key itself. If you look at the bottom, you'll see how I talked about when you push that key down and turn it counterclockwise and let go and spin it, it pops up at one point. Then you have to push it back down and turn it another half turn and it comes out. So if you look underneath here, you'll see 2 matching key slots underneath here. And those are keepers to where this button will pop up, engage, and lock the key into place. And so that's basically what these 2 down here do. These 2 up here, or these 4 up here on the top of the button, are engaging in that plastic on the top, the piece I showed you where it was broken. And so that is allowing the key to spin out. And then when this button pops back up again, it hits those slots and locks it into place. So let me try to, and just, you know, comment, text, or whatever, if none of this makes sense to you, and I'll try to explain, or maybe even do another video to show. So you see I've got the narrow slot going this way, the wide slot going this way. And that matches what's in the key. So I want to turn that 90 degrees because I want this key to go out this way. I'm putting this in the slot and rotating it counterclockwise. So the key needs to open like this. So I need to put tension on the spring. This is opening clockwise, so the spring needs to be counterclockwise in tension. So here I go. I'm turning the wide spot towards the front of the key. I'm sticking it in the little slot on the bottom. I've got it in place. Now I'm going to turn it and wait. Nope, I am backwards. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm perfect. Never mind. I'm a goober. That's what I am. Now I'm turning I'm not even putting it in the key yet. I'm putting tension, turning the wide slot towards the back of the key where I want it, and it pops in. Now if I let go, it's just going to go back the other way. So I'm spinning it to get it to come up. Well, I'm going around to spin it until hopefully it'll pop up in that recess. That's what I'm trying to get it to do. And there. Okay. So you can see that I've got it in the little recess right here. And that should be your open position with your key. So drop it in there in the open position, and that way you continue the tension when you close it. So drop it at this point when you got it in those slots, drop it into your remote, then pop your shell, the other half of your shell on top of it with the circuit board, and then everything's in place. And so when you push your button and spin your key down, then you continue to add tension, even more tension to the key as you come down on it. So I hope that's as clear as mud, because I don't know if I can make it any clearer, but I will do everything I can to try to help and explain if I've just made this more confusing. But it's not confusing at all. Don't be afraid to attempt this, is what I'm trying to say, because it is not a hard undertaking by any means whatsoever. And I'm putting this key in here because that I want to get cut. And so I'll try to do that tomorrow. And so this little bit of slack right here, it does bother me. But that's fine. That is either where in the key itself or in the button. When I get one of those keys cut, and I do have the tool, the machine to cut them, I just never cut those kind of keys. So I'm wanting to get a locksmith to do it. If they want to be ugly and not do it, then I'll do it myself, and I'll show you guys how to do that. And hopefully I got two of them. So if I mess one up, I still end up with two good keys. And that's the point of everything. So I get these cut, and the next step is going to be to program this key to the truck to have two keys. So anyway, I hope that makes some kind of sense. Please comment below with questions and tell me if I didn't explain it well enough or it doesn't make sense. Just let me know, and if need to, I'll make another video and kind of stay zoomed in to show maybe a little better. And I'll try to show video of inserting it in the top and spinning it, and then turn the key over from the bottom and spinning it. So hopefully it will be clearer. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I thank you for being here. I enjoy spending time with you, and I will see you next time. Your time is very important to me, and I thank you for spending it here with me. Thanks, and God bless.